Okay, 1 minute before we start, guys. So let's just swing our arms. Okay, fantastic. Thanks for coming. So starting with your feet, shoulder width, check they're both facing the same way. It's very common for one foot or the other to be turned out slightly. So just check they both want to be the same, roughly forward facing, but the same angle as each other. First thing we're going to do, we're going to relax down. So there's a way of doing this that's important. So start by sitting into the legs and then feel your tailbone lengthening down and coming under slightly. And then let your head fall forward and just relax. And let the head be very heavy, hanging over. You can feel your back stretching. But try to work on collapsing and relaxing the front even more. Keep the legs springy and available under you. Don't lock the hips. And keep dropping that tailbone and bringing it under. And you'll notice this brings the breathing into the back more. Into the sides. See if you can let that head hang forward just a little bit more. Keep the weight roughly around the middle of the feet. Don't go too far forward or too far back. And just feel the strength of the legs, connection to the ground, and start to push. And let the back unroll, unfurl, coming up to the head last, and coming back to this neutral, relaxed, integrated position. Just breathing and relaxing. That was a very yin posture. Now we're going to go to a very yang posture. So keeping the shoulders relaxed, let the hands float up, and then stretch up even more. Just really seeing how far up you can reach. Keep your feet flat and heavy on the ground. And just turning and stretching, spiraling through the body in your stretch. So I'm just going to talk about yin and yang a little bit. These are very, very good terms to familiarize oneself with. A very good way of looking at different energies in the body. So if we think about yin as relaxing and sinking, contracting, heavy, and yang as light, expanding, rising, going out from the center. But if you think about that yin-yang symbol, and in the blackfish you have the little white eye and vice versa. So here we're extending effort into the body to stretch. Just relax the shoulders, sit down slightly in the legs, sit down in the hips, open. So in that extending effort into the body to stretch it, we also want there to be that seed of relaxation and ease. Bringing the hands in with the elbows as far back as possible, the hands as far back as possible. Let the front of the body bow forwards. And the back is closing. So we call this an arched back. And relax. And just follow the body as you breathe out and start to breathe in now. Pushing the middle of the body backwards, bringing the tailbone under. Stretching the back and breathing into it at the same time. And relax on the out breath, let the body change. And start to extend effort into the body, stretching the front, opening it, breathing into it, and relaxing on the out breath, following the elasticity of the body as you change. And breathing into the back as you extend effort to open the back and close the front. Relaxing, letting the body change, and then extending effort to stretch the front, collapse the back, and relax. One more, pushing forwards, opening the back as much as you can. Keep the legs nicely engaged under you. Breathe into the back and relax on the out breath. Stretching, breathing into the front, relaxing, collapsing the back, and letting go. Come back to neutral. So we've done a few things to the body so far. Stretched it, collapsed it. We've gone through this breathing, which is very activating around the breathing, really gets the lungs, the breathing mechanism working well. Now we're going to do the circling. So find your dantian. So if you put your hand just below your belly button, you're on the chi high on the surface point. Dantian inside. Start to circle that point. It has an effect on the hips, but you're not circling the hips. Okay, so it might sound a bit contradictory because the hips are circling, but there's a subtle difference, which is important, becomes clearer as you train longer. Subtle difference between actively circling the dantian and actively circling the hips. And we're trying to be in the tummy and feel the tummy circling. When you've got the feeling for that, you can relax your both arms and just let them hang down. And you can allow the tone of the spine to become softer. Stay with that movement, that circling in the center in the dantian. Notice how the arms hang freely. Notice how the weight changes in the feet. Comfortable and relaxed, just circling. Do not try to use this as a stretch. Don't try to come into conflict with the body. If an area of the body feels like it doesn't want you to go there, then don't go there. Find a way of doing it without fighting that bit of the body. Just set up a nice, smooth, flowing, circling action. Next time you get around to the front, change the direction of rotation, reverse it. Same exercise, going the other way. Looking for smoothness, continuity of movement, and a relaxed, comfortable feeling in the body as you do it. You really want the awareness to be present, noticing the changes in the spine, changes in the shoulders, changes in the hips, changes in the legs and the weight in the feet. Notice the ribs and the front of the body closing. Notice it stretching and opening. Notice the shoulder hanging and then leaning back against the body and then falling off and hanging again. So there's a real passivity around the rest of the body. The dantian is the active point. It's the bit that moves, that you're doing something with. Just relax the weight down into the middle of the feet, and you might notice that you have more weight in the right foot and more weight in the left foot at different times. Very good. Just coming back to the center, back to neutral, just standing quietly, calmly listening to the body. Just feel that sense of being embodied. Notice how the breathing is coming and going. Just try to relax around the breathing. The body knows what to do if we get out of the way. Just floating the head top up, sinking the tailbone down. Letting the back lengthen downwards from through the lower back to the tailbone, and lengthen upwards through the thoracic area, the neck, up to the head top. Just let those two forces gently separate and open the spine while the front of the body softens and relaxes. Now we're going to take our attention to the dantian again, and we're just going to turn, keeping the legs facing forward. Don't turn the legs with the turn of the waist. So just turn your hand a little bit, nowhere near 45 degrees. maybe halfway towards the corner. Let it fall back. Turn it halfway towards the corner the other way and let it fall back. Keep the head top suspended as you do that and keep the legs stable, feet relaxed and stable on the ground. Just turning from the dantian, relaxing and turning, comfortable and relaxed. Keep the mind calm and body centered, and see if without any effort in the arms and shoulders, you can get the arms to swing using the rotation around the vertical axis. So you're using the rotation around the vertical axis. And the point at which we're applying that rotational energy is in the tummy. Just relaxing and turning. Just letting your, if any of you had any experience of mechanics or physics, you'll know that centrifugal force, as you rotate like this, there's a centrifugal force going down the arms, away from the center, towards the hand. You can feel it, the arms stretching away just naturally. The more you relax the arms, and the clearer you get around this rotation around the vertical axis, the more that rotational, that centrifugal force moves down the arms from the spine, through the shoulders, down through the elbows, wrists, to the hands and fingers. It takes a lot of stress away from the shoulder-neck junction. So just try to really soften the shoulders. Keep the legs stable base. Don't let the knees move left and right. Let the hips really soften. That's where the turning's really happening, is in the hips. So the motion of turning is happening. The impetus for the turn is coming from higher up in the center, in the dantian. This is creating a vertical rotational axis. And if you really soften and divest the shoulders and arms of any holding or superficial chi, then you start to get this centrifugal force moving away. The energy moves away from the junction of the neck, spine and shoulders at big crossroads. So you're clearing it, especially if you sink the tailbone and float the head top as you do this. You just relax into this action. So there's various ways in which you can do this exercise. This is the basic exercise. You can then move your weight a little bit. So you sit a little bit into the leg. You don't have to do this. I'm not necessarily encouraging you to do this. Doing it with the feet, the weight roughly 50-50, is the basic, very, very beneficial basic exercise. And then gradually, as you feel more comfortable with it, you can let the weight wander. Now I've changed the pattern. So I'm turning more towards the foot, sinking more into the foot towards which I'm sinking, towards which I'm turning. So I'm turning right and sinking right, turning left and sinking left. So just relax, feel this comfortable motion, calm and relaxed. And just relaxing back. Let the body settle back to this neutral, comfortable, embodied state. Breathing and relaxing. Just bringing yourself fully into the present moment. Have the awareness resting in the physical sensations in the body. Calm, body centered. Check the head top is light and floating up, and the tailbone is heavy and sinking down. Check that the hips are relaxed and open, and the weight dropping to the bubbling well points. So we're going to just look at the breathing now. This is very important. Remember, you can live for a month without food, a week without water, and only a few minutes without breath. So breath is our primary energy source. So just bring your hands up to the lower ribs and firmly, gently press onto the lower ribs. Just try to slightly focus the expansion into your hands. And really try to physically collapse away from that contact as you breathe out. So just relaxing and breathing. Feel your feet solid, stable on the ground while the head top is light. Just feel this breathing, calming and going. Make the hands into these dragon's claws and put the tips of the fingers and thumbs on the upper ribs and try to breathe more into that physical contact. Remember, you're really trying to expand into that contact on the in-breath. And relax and collapse back away from that contact on the out-breath. So just this overall embodied sense of ease and naturalness. We're not trying to do something extra to the body. We're just trying to relax and get out of the way, let the body function really well. Bringing the hands down onto the tummy. So when we relax and we breathe when we're asleep, this is how babies breathe, when the diaphragm works properly, as you breathe in, it extends down into the viscera. And it gives you a nice massage inside, but it also results in the tummy expanding on the in-breath. So see if you can get that feeling of the tummy expanding. Just keep doing that. So remember, this is an exercise, so you might just try to produce slightly more movement than you would in normal breathing, but you're just trying to see if that area of the body is receptive to joining into the breathing process. And bringing the hands round to that soft area on the lower back, above the pelvis, below the ribs, same thing. Pushing back into your hands on the in-breath and relaxing and letting them collapse in on the out-breath. Calm and comfortable. And then bringing the hands up to the ribs on the side. Trying to make the body expand outwards into that contact to the sides. Just letting the arms hang down. Of course, this applies to the upper back as well. It's not so easy to put the hands there. Just breathing and feeling the whole body changing. See if you can feel all those areas working together, expanding together and collapsing together. Just a calm sense of ease. Keep tracking the feelings in the feet, hips relaxed and open, calm and comfortable. So we'll just do a little bit of breathing, more overt breathing exercise. So you're sitting down in the legs, and as you push up, stretch and open the front of the body, crossways to the sides and up and down. And bending the arms around the elbows and sinking through the hips and shoulders simultaneously, shortening the front of the body, return to where you started. Big in-breath, stretching the front of the body and collapsing, relaxing, letting the front of the body return. Everything back to the dantian. And then out from the dantian, expanding out to the periphery, to the arms, legs, head top, and letting it return naturally. Very calm, very comfortable, very natural. Don't force anything. Just see if you can relax into a smooth, integrated opening feeling and a smooth, integrated closing, collapsing feeling. This phase is about extending effort into the body, out to the periphery, and this phase is about returning back to the center. So one last breath. yang, yin. And just settling down back to this neutral position. Bringing the hands over the chi hai, over the dantian. Make sure you've got very slight sense of sitting in the hips relaxed and open. So shortly I will bring the session to an end, but if you want to stand and just breathe like this for a few minutes, it's very, very beneficial. Calm and comfortable, body-centered awareness. Just letting the breathing come and go naturally, staying with the feelings in the body. So you can carry on if you like. Thank you very much for coming. Hope to see you next week. It's the end of the session. Thanks very much.